Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by beautiful green mountains, there lived an 8-year-old boy named Ariv. Ariv was a curious and adventurous little boy. He loved exploring the world around him, especially the mysterious forest that stood behind his village. His mother always warned him, "Ariv, never go too deep into the old forest. There are places in that forest that even adults are afraid to visit." Ariv always promised that he wouldn't. But one evening, something unusual happened. While Ariv was playing near the edge of the forest, he noticed a tiny golden light moving between the trees. "What is that?" he wondered. The little light moved deeper into the forest. Ariv followed it. The forest became quieter and darker as he walked. The sounds of birds disappeared, and even the wind seemed to stop. Then Ariv suddenly stopped. In front of him stood an enormous ancient tree. And attached to the tree was something that shouldn't have been there. A small blue wooden door. There was no house behind it. There was no wall. There was only the door, standing mysteriously inside the giant tree. Ariv slowly walked toward it. The door was covered with strange golden symbols that seemed to move whenever he looked at them. He reached out and touched the golden handle. Click! The door opened. Ariv's eyes became wide with amazement. Behind the door was not the forest. Instead, there was a completely different world. A magical kingdom stretched endlessly beneath a purple sky. Huge islands floated among the clouds. Rivers sparkled like silver ribbons, trees had golden leaves, and flowers glowed like tiny stars. Ariv stepped through the door. The moment he entered, the door disappeared. He turned around. Wait! Where did the door go? Suddenly, something landed on his shoulder. A tiny blue bird looked at him. "My name is Miko," the bird said. Ariv nearly fell over. "You can talk." Miko laughed. "Of course I can talk. You're the strange one here." Before Ariv could ask another question, the beautiful sky suddenly became dark. The golden trees lost their light. The flowers stopped glowing. A cold wind swept across the kingdom. Miko's smile disappeared. "We have to go." "Why?" Ariv asked. Miko looked toward the dark mountains in the distance. "Because the shadow is waking up." Miko quickly took Ariv to a magnificent crystal castle. Inside the castle lived a young princess named Ilara. But Ilara wasn't sitting on a golden throne. She was standing inside a tall glass tower. Ariv looked at her with confusion. "Why is the princess locked inside?" Miko shook his head. "She isn't a prisoner. She's protecting the kingdom." Ilara explained that many years ago, a mysterious creature called the Shadow appeared in their magical world. The Shadow fed on fear, sadness, and loneliness. The kingdom's magical heart crystal was the only thing powerful enough to keep it asleep. But now the heart crystal was losing its power. And the Shadow was waking up. Ariv looked frightened. "Can we stop it?" Ilara looked at him carefully. "Yes." "How?" She smiled. "The magical door doesn't choose the strongest person. It chooses someone who still believes in hope." Ariv didn't understand why the door had chosen him. But he knew one thing. He wanted to help. Ilara told him that the heart crystal had been divided into 3 magical keys. If Ariv could find the 3 keys and unlock the ancient chamber, the heart crystal could be restored. So Ariv began his journey with Miko. Their first destination was the Forest of Whispers. As soon as Ariv entered the forest, the trees began speaking. "You are too small. You will fail. You should go home." Ariv became frightened. But then he remembered his mother's voice. "Ariv, always believe in yourself." He took a deep breath. "These voices aren't real," he said. The forest became silent. A golden key appeared inside an ancient tree. Ariv reached out and took it. The first key was his. Next, they traveled to the Lake of Memories. The lake was so clear that Arif could see his reflection perfectly. Nico warned him not to look into the water. But Arif couldn't resist. The moment he looked into the lake, he saw memories from his childhood. He saw his mother holding him as a baby. He saw his first day at school. He saw his first bicycle. He saw all the happy moments he had shared with his family. Then something strange happened. The water changed. Arif saw himself standing beside Princess Ilara. But Arif was much older. Both of them looked sad. Then Ilara said something he couldn't hear. Arif stepped back. What does that mean? Before he could understand, a silver key appeared beneath the water. He reached into the lake and pulled it out. The second key was his. But the mysterious vision stayed in his mind. As Arif and Nico returned to the castle, the sky suddenly became completely black. A giant shadow appeared above the kingdom. Two red eyes looked down at Arif. "Give me the boy," the shadow said. Arif froze. "How do you know me?" The shadow laughed. "Because I'd been waiting for you." Arif couldn't understand. Why was this creature waiting for him? Why had the magical door brought him here? And why had the Lake of Memories shown him a future he didn't understand? Ilara finally revealed the truth. Many years ago, Arif's grandfather had entered the magical kingdom through the same door. He had helped create the heart crystal. But before leaving the magical world, he had made a promise. One day, someone from his family would return. Arif looked at Ilara. "So I came here because of my grandfather?" Ilara shook her head. "No. You came here because you chose to open the door." Suddenly, Arif felt something inside his pocket. He reached inside. There was a small golden key. The third key. It had been with him the entire time. Arif finally understood. The magical door hadn't chosen him because he was powerful. It had chosen him because he had the courage to step through it. With all three keys in his hands, Arif entered the Shadow's castle. The castle was dark and silent. The walls seemed to whisper his fears. "You are weak. You are only a child. You cannot save anyone." Arif was terrified. But he continued walking. At the end of the castle, he found the shadow. It was enormous. Its dark body filled the entire room. "You cannot defeat me," the shadow said. Arif held up the three keys. "I don't need to defeat you." The shadow laughed. "Then what will you do?" Arif closed his eyes. He thought about his mother. He thought about his home. He thought about the people he loved. He remembered every happy moment of his life. And suddenly, a tiny golden light appeared inside his heart. The three keys began glowing. The darkness around him started disappearing. The shadow screamed. "No!" But Arif didn't run. He stepped forward. "You became strong because people were afraid of you," Arif said. "But you're wrong about one thing." The shadow became silent. "Fear isn't stronger than hope." Golden light exploded through the room. The darkness began to disappear. And then something unexpected happened. In its place stood a small, lonely boy. He looked frightened and sad. Arif stared at him. "Who are you?" The boy looked down. "I was forgotten." Arif slowly walked toward him. "Is that why you became the shadow?" The boy nodded. "I thought if everyone was lonely, I wouldn't be alone anymore." Arif felt tears in his eyes. "You don't have to be alone." The boy looked at him. "Would you stay?" Arif smiled. "Yes." The moment he said those words, the final darkness disappeared. The heart crystal began glowing brighter than ever. Golden light spread throughout the magical kingdom. The dark clouds disappeared. The rivers began sparkling again. The flowers started singing. The golden trees came back to life. The people of the kingdom came out of their homes and celebrated. Princess Ilara smiled at
my
Arif.
little Arav. I
You
was
saved
so
our
worried.
kingdom. Arif shook his
I
head.
missed you so much, Mother.
No. We saved each other. After
My
everything was
little
over,
Arav.
Arif knew he
I
had
was
to
so
return home.
worried.
Ilara opened the
I missed
magical
you so
door.
much, Mother.
Miko hugged him tightly. You'll come back,
Oh,
right?
my little Arav.
Arif
I was so
smiled.
worried.
Of course.
I missed you so
He stepped
much,
through
Mother.
the door. In an instant, he was back in the old forest.
Oh, my little Arav.
The sun was
I
setting.
was so worried.
Arif ran home.
I missed you
His
so
mother
much,
was waiting
Mother.
for him.